What if the mansions in your city were built with stolen public money, and the buyers were untouchable because of shell companies and legal loopholes? Today, we uncover a secret that connects the poverty of Congo to the wealth of South Africa's gated estates. Who is Francis Selemani? Meet Francis Selemani, not a household name, but a man with enormous power behind the scenes. He is the adopted brother of former DRC President Joseph Kabila, and served as CEO of BGFIBank DRC, a key financial institution closely linked to the presidency. Selemani was also tied to a private oil trading firm called Sud Oil, a front, as exposed by the Congo Hold-Up Leaks, for siphoning state money into private hands. Under Kabila, billions flowed through shadowy pipelines, and Selemani was the gatekeeper. How much was laundered, and how? Between 2016 and 2018, Selemani and his wife secretly bought 13 properties in South Africa, valued at over R30 million. These weren't just houses. They were mansions in affluent suburbs of Johannesburg, Centurion, and Pretoria. The kicker? All cash purchases. No mortgage. No red flags. Why? Because the properties were bought using shell companies, and agents didn't ask questions. Money moved from BGFIBank to Sud Oil. Thereafter, funds landed in South African property purchases. This is classic money laundering, concealing origin, layering transactions, and placing dirty money into safe assets. In 2021, everything changed. A leak of 3.5 million documents known as Congo Hold-Up exposed how over $138 million in state funds were diverted by the Kabila regime. Sud Oil appeared at the center of this scandal. Fake invoices, inflated contracts, and state funds being used to buy homes, pay personal bills, and fund a life of luxury abroad. Selemani's real estate splurge in South Africa became one of the most shocking examples of cross-border financial crime. Why South Africa matters? But here's the real question: why South Africa? Because South Africa's real estate sector was almost like hotbed for money laundering. It was under-regulated, and agents weren't required to verify source of funds properly. South Africa was greylisted by the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, in 2023, in part due to failures like this. Ghost buyers, shell companies, complicit professionals. It almost became a paradise for criminals with money to clean. What's being done, and what isn't? In April 2023, a group of civil society organizations, including Open Secrets, PPLAAF, and Congo Nouveau, filed a formal complaint with South Africa's National Prosecuting Authority. They demanded an investigation, asset freezes, and prosecution under the Prevention of Organized Crime Act. But over a year later, nothing has happened. In fact, 6 of the properties have already been sold, making recovery harder. The clock is ticking, and impunity is winning. Call to action: it's not just about Congo. It's about how dirty money flows through South Africa, staining our economy and eroding justice. We call on everyone to act and expose bad actors. In order for their accounts to be frozen, freeze their properties, expose the enablers, and return stolen money to its rightful people. Because when we allow stolen money to hide in plain sight, we all become complicit. Roadmap and call to action for professionals, regulators, and the public across the world where financial crime, corruption, and property laundering intersect. Solutions: how to stop dirty money in real estate everywhere. What happened in South Africa is happening around the world: New York, London, Dubai, Nairobi, Toronto, Singapore. The same playbook: corrupt elites steal money, move it through shell companies, and wash it into luxury property. So how do we stop this? Enforce beneficial ownership transparency. Every country must create a central, public registry of the ultimate beneficial owners, UBOs, behind property-owning companies and trusts. All legal entities must report their true owners annually, with criminal penalties for false or missing disclosures. This ensures that corrupt politicians, sanctioned individuals, or criminal networks can't hide behind layers of secrecy. Mandatory AML compliance for real estate and DNFBPs, real estate agents, lawyers, notaries, accountants, and trust company service providers must be legally required to shock-faced conduct full KYC checks on clients, assess the source of funds, file suspicious transaction reports, STRs, to local financial intelligence units, FIUs. They should not proceed with high-risk deals unless risk mitigation steps are in place. No transaction should go ahead unless the money is clean. If you're facilitating it, you are responsible. Asset recovery and criminal enforcement. Prosecutors must act quickly to seize assets bought with stolen funds before they are resold or transferred to offshore havens. Leverage international treaties, like the UN Convention Against Corruption, to freeze and repatriate stolen assets. Countries should establish or strengthen multi-agency task forces that combine the intelligence capabilities of police, tax authorities, FIUs, and central banks. Inaction allows criminal networks to evolve into untouchable financial empires. Blacklist enablers and gatekeepers, lawyers, accountants, or real estate agents who repeatedly assist in money laundering should face shock-faced professional sanctions, revoked licenses, public blacklists, and criminal prosecution, not just fines. Regulators should create high-risk professionals list shared across borders. If the gatekeepers are corrupt, the gates must be closed. Public awareness and civil society pressure educate citizens that unregulated property markets affect them by inflating prices, funding crime, and distorting economies. Empower NGOs, journalists, and activists to investigate ownership, trace assets, and pressure governments to enforce reforms. Use digital tools, e.g. OCCRP's Aleph, ITSI's offshore leaks, to expose global corruption networks. Transparency is not just a legal requirement, it's a human right. Global call to action. The story of the DRC isn't unique. It's a mirror to what's happening from Luanda to London, from Kinshasa to Cape Town to Kyiv. The corrupt don't just steal, they buy silence, infiltrate our systems, and launder legitimacy through our cities. It's time we close the doors. End anonymous ownership. Hold gatekeepers accountable. Reclaim stolen wealth for the people. This is more than policy, it's about justice. For Congo, for South Africa, for the world.